Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Hometable Community. My name's Erin Rival. I'm the creator of Hometable Community, and I'm so glad that you've joined us here on this Sunday evening. So we don't officially kick off until September 8th, and on September 8th, we'll have messages. We're going to start in Luke. We'll have some time to read some of the scripture. We'll learn about it in its context. And then more importantly, we'll learn how to apply it to our own life and how we can live out those messages and how we can deepen our own faith life. So between now and then, though, we're just going to have some time to get to know each other. So these are, introductions, time for me to tell you a little bit about my story. And then throughout the week, you'll learn a little bit about, or I'll learn a little bit about your story. So there'll be times for you to talk to me about where you are in your faith life and what's going really, really well for you and what's going not so well for you. So I created Hometable to provide instruction, encouragement, and accountability no matter where you are on your faith journey and no matter where you are on your walk with the holy, with God, right? So whether you're a pre-beginner, you don't even know if this is like the water you want to dive into, to whether you are super advanced, my hope is that you'll find instruction, encouragement, and accountability for that journey. When I created this, I had 3 types of people in mind. So it's designed for 3 types of people in particular. So I'm thinking about those people who can't get to church. You can't get to church. You can't get to church because you work on Sunday mornings. You work when your faith community meets. You can't get there because life just keeps you away, whether it's kids' schedule, whether it's work, whether it's travel, whether it's just the overwhelm of what's going on during the day. I'm also thinking of people who won't go to church. So those are people who perhaps feel like church and all that church is, with all of the baggage it comes with, is not for them. I'm thinking about people who won't go to church because church has hurt them in some way. We hear stories about this all the time. I bet we have our own personal stories of this. Church has hurt people, and so the idea of going through those doors again causes more hurt, more trauma, more pain. I'm also thinking this particular piece about people who've been made to feel like they are not welcomed in church. Those are people who perhaps won't go to church. And then that third category is people who want more, right? So maybe they're finding themselves stagnant in their faith life. They love their faith community. It has been just wonderful and nurturing and healthy, but at this point it's stagnant. They're not growing and they want more out of their faith life. Now for me, I've been all 3 of these at some point in my life. I could tell you stories about each different category where I can raise my hand and say, yes, that was me. But I think the one that resonates most with me is that can't category. So I remember when my daughter was newborn, we took her to the nursery and she hated the nursery. She hated all nurseries. It wasn't just the church nursery. She hated every nursery we ever took her to. But we would get ready for church and we would take her to the church nursery and we would put her there and we would make sure she was asleep or she had snacks or she was playing, with the nursery worker. All was well. We would, tiptoe out of the church, go sit down in our seats. And then I'm telling you guys, every single week, we could hear her screaming in the sanctuary. Now, there was the nursery, a hallway, the kitchen, then the sanctuary with a contemporary band playing, and we could still hear her cries. So my husband and I would look at one another, and one of us would go and spend the rest of the church service sitting in the nursery. Now, if one of us was out of town, it was really hard for us to be motivated to go to church because you knew you were just going to sit in the nursery. Flash forward a few more years when we had 4 young kids to get ready for church. My husband would often say that Sunday mornings were the worst morning of his entire week. The stress of getting 4 kids up, fed, dressed in something that was church appropriate and to church was so incredibly frustrating that it was just too stressful to almost deal with. And I'll tell you, most of those mornings we drove to church in sort of that angry, stony silence because we were so furious with each other over how we had gotten things ready on the morning. It didn't leave us really feeling uplifted. Nowadays, my oldest is 15, and I'll tell you, our days are just so crazy busy, right? The kids are involved in everything. Our Saturdays can run all day long. Sometimes we have stuff on Sunday morning, but I'll be honest, more often it's Saturday. Saturday is so packed that the idea of waking up on Sunday morning and going and doing one more thing, checking one more box off our list on how we have, tried to be good parents this week is just exhausting, right? We'd rather spend that time home with the family. We can't get there sometimes. We can't get there. And the thought of going leaves us sort of lifeless and exhausted and tired. Because let me tell you, that is not Jesus's message, right? Jesus's message is one of joy and life and love, all in abundance. So if your faith life is leaving you exhausted and tired, maybe it's not Jesus. Maybe it's the medium. Maybe it's the method, right? That's what Hometable is for. Hometable, we're trying on something new here, right? A new medium, a new method for having that life of Jesus in our lives, right? Having that joy, that love, all in abundance, be a part of it. We live in a different world than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, and this is just a new medium to keep up with that. Right? Because Jesus's message is one of love and joy and grace and forgiveness and gentleness and peace and kindness and all of that. And if your faith life doesn't have those things in it, if your faith life is leaving you exhausted and tired, feeling shameful, right? Then that is not the message of Jesus. That's why Hometable exists. Over the next week, I would love to hear, what are you? Are you a can't? Are you a won't? Are you a want more? What is your story? You can share it on Facebook. You can send me an email. You can private message me, whatever works for you. But I would love to hear your story. So as we end today, I have a couple announcements. One, just that reminder, September 8th, 8 p.m. we'll start our weekly messages. Two, we're going to be doing beta testing for the accountability groups. So totally free. I'd love for anyone to sign up just so I can see how all of my systems and pieces work. That'll be in the months of October and November, so 1 month at a time, just to make sure everything is all set to go for January. Please make sure to sign up for the email newsletter because that's where we'll do some signups with that. And now, if you'll allow me to bless you. My favorite blessing from Numbers, I'm going to totally paraphrase it, but may the Lord God shine his face upon you. The Lord God grant you peace. May you know that peace in abundance. Peace be with you, my friends. Have a great night. Bye.